Hello, General Math students. We are going to continue in our proportions unit with percentages. And today we're going to talk about sales tax and tip problems. These are going to be word problems where we're going to be figuring out sales tax and tips. So first of all, I want to know, what is a tip? What is a sales tax or a tax? A tip is generally what you give extra for services. Waiters and waitresses get tips based on their services. Hairdressers get tips. Pizza delivery people get tips. It's what you give extra because they did a good job. And usually it's some sort of percentage. Tax is what you pay extra for products. Basically, we pay sales tax on everything in Minnesota except for food and clothes, the necessities. But if you go out for dinner, you pay sales tax on that. And it's generally used to pay for like construction, road services, things like that, things the government want to help pay for. When they built the Xcel Energy Center in St. Paul or the new football stadium in Minneapolis, they raised the sales tax in those areas to help pay for those constructions. So it's just what you pay extra for things. So we're going to use this. I want you to have in your notes, so make sure you have your notebook out. We're going to set up a proportion like we usually do, and it's going to be percent over 100 like normal. But with these problems, we're going to figure out the tip and the tax. That amount is going to be on the top. The original price is going to be on the bottom. And generally speaking, with these situations, we're going to have two problems. We're going to either have to figure out the tax and the tip from the total and the original price, and then do the proportion, or we're going to do it the other way. We're going to do the proportion first and then figure out a total. So there's, generally speaking, going to be two steps to these problems. Not always, but a lot of times there's going to be two steps. So let's take a look at one, and we're going to be using this, so make sure you have it written down. Pause the video if you need to. So let's go ahead and start with this first one, and we're going to start out with this. Remember, the percent is going to go. We're going to be dealing with tax, so the tax amount goes on the top, and the original price goes on the bottom. So that I'm going to set up each time. So let's go ahead and figure this out. You buy a $40 backpack. So that's our original price. I'm going to put that on the bottom at the mall and pay $2 in tax. That's not the percent. It's the amount that you paid. What is the tax rate? And that is the percentage that we need to find. So we can do it one of two ways. We can go either way. I want to do something with the 40 to get to 100 and do the same thing to the 2, or do something going up, okay? So here I'm going to do 40 divided by 2. That gives me 20. So 40 divided by 20 gives me the 2. So if I come over here and I do 100 divided by 20, that gives me 5. So I believe our answer is 5%. But let's try it this other way. If we go this way, let's do 100 divided by 40, and that's going to give us 4/10. Sorry, that's going to give us 2.5. I'm sorry, I goofed on that one. It's going to give us 2.5. So I would basically do 40 times 2.5, because I want to get bigger, and that's going to give us the 100. So if you try it, 40 divided or multiplied by 2.5, that does give us 100. So 2 times 2.5 also gives us 5. So then I know that 5% is our tax rate. And I don't care which way you go. It doesn't matter. Either way works. Let's do another one. We're going to start out with this. Again, we're doing tax. So let's fill in the numbers. In Hawaii, the sales tax is 4%. There's a percent. We're going to put that over 100. What would the total cost with tax of a leather coat that costs $200 in Hawaii? So the coat costs $200. That's our total down here. So this one should be fairly easy. I can do 100 times 2, which gives me 200, or I can divide by 25. Either way, that's going to work. So I'm going to go this way because it's easier. 4 times 2, that gives me 8. And even if I did 200 divided by 25, that would also give me 8. So either way works. I don't care. But 8 is not our answer. Our answer is what would the total cost be? So here's that second step. I have to do 200 for the coat plus the $8 in tax. My total cost would be $208. That's the price of the leather coat. So here's where I'm saying you have to do 1, the proportion to find the amount of tax, and then 2, you have to add them together to get the total. Let's work with tax again. We're going to set up our proportion. Find the sales tax on a $400 Xbox 360. So here we go. $400 is the total cost, or is the original price. System at Best Buy in Rochester, Minnesota, if the tax rate is 7%. So the 7% would go up on top of the 100. And again, find the easy way. This way, not going to be super easy, so I'm not going to do it. But 100 times 4 gives us the 400. So 7 times 4, I believe, gives me 28. But this is, the question is this our answer? And yes, it is, because it says find the sales tax. That's what they want you to find. So the sales tax on a $400 Xbox 360 game system is $28. Now, if they asked for the total price or what you would pay for it, then you would do the 400 plus 28 to get 428. But they did not ask us this. They just asked for the sales tax. But here's where you have to make sure you know what you are finding so you know how many steps you are doing. Let's do another tax one. Again, we're going to set up our proportion. This should always be the first thing you do. Not including how much it might cost to travel to Maine, so we can ignore that sentence. How much cheaper is it to buy the $400 Xbox 360 game system in Maine, where the sales tax rate is 5%? So the 5 is going to go on top because it's a percent. We still have 400. So I'm still going to do it this way. I'm going to multiply by 4 to get 400. 5 times 4 gives me 20. Now, if you go back, it was $28 in Minnesota for the tax. Here, it's only $20. So the question is, how much cheaper is it to buy it in Maine? It would be $8. Whoops, I already have the dollars in there. $8 cheaper. Because I did 28 minus 20. I got $8 cheaper in Maine. There we go. Okay, so let's do a tip now. It's a little bit different, but it's set up the same way. Same proportion. Ricardo took his family out to dinner. The bill was $60. That was his original bill. He wants to leave a 15% tip. So 15 goes on top of 100 because that's the percent. It says how much money should he leave and what was the total cost of the meal. Okay, so let's figure it out. I'm going to do this way because anytime I have 100, I can go either way. And I'd be doing 100, and I'm going to change that 15 into a decimal, and I'm going to multiply it by 0.15. So 100 times 0.15 is going to give me that 15. Or I could go this way and multiply this by a decimal, 60 hundredths. Either way is going to work. I can multiply 15 times 6 hundredths or 60 hundredths or 6 tenths, or I can take 60 and multiply that by 15 hundredths. Either way, it's going to work. 60 times 15 hundredths, I get 9. Let's do 15 times 6 tenths or 60 hundredths. I get the same answer. I get 9. So my two questions. How much money should he leave? It is a $9 tip. What was the total cost? I'm going to add them together. The total is going to be $69. So make sure you're paying attention to what kind of questions you are answering. Let's do another one. Kia wants to get a manicure pedicure before going to the prom. She wants to leave a 20% tip. Here's my proportion. 20% tip, I'm going to put the 20 over 100. If the cost of the treatment was $60, that's my original cost. How much did she pay for the treatment, including the tip? So I want the total. So that means I'm going to have to add them together. Okay? So let's see. I can do 100 times 0.2 or 20 hundredths or divided by 5. Either way will work. I can do it this way where I'm multiplying by 6 tenths because I'm turning these into decimals, and that's what I multiply by 100. Either way will work. I can divide by 5 because that works. I can multiply by 20 hundredths. Either way, I do believe my answer here is going to be 12. Then I can go the other way too. I could do 20 times 6 tenths. And again, my answer would be 12. So now I have to add them together. 60 plus 12. My total is going to be $72. Sometimes you may have to go the other way and figure out, how much a tip was or something like that. But you should be okay. So your homework for tonight after this video is the 4.9 exercises, which is numbers 1 through 13 here in Go Formative. We're going to be talking about some of this in class. Otherwise, send me a message. Good luck. Have a good day.